everyone. So today we're going to do a full video, about 10 minutes, on different types of fingerlime that we can grow here in Thailand. As far as I'm aware, there are over 40 different types of fingerlime. We've got 10 in this particular farm. They're native to Australia. They're a citrus fruit, and yeah, as you will see, they're often known as caviar lime. Okay, so let's jump in with the first one. Right, so our first one today is red champagne. This is probably the most commonly grown here in Thailand. The reason being is probably the easiest to grow. It's the hardiest. It's not difficult. It will grow in really good warm climates like Thailand, tropical climates. It grows to about 2 meters in height. So this one's only a baby. So it'll grow to about 2 meters in height when it's fully grown. And as far as yield goes, in terms of how much fruit a year you get off it, it will give you anywhere between 5 and 10 kilos, depending on the watering, the feeding, and obviously the conditions that it's kept in. But overall, one of the easiest to grow, and most farmers grow this one. So, as you can see from the picture here, it's bright red in colour. So what they call the beads, bright red. It's fairly citrusy, sorry about the wind. It's quite a sweet taste, not too sour. It's got a little bit of sweetness to it. But again, probably the most popular fingerlime that is grown for farming. Right, so number 2 is called Byron Sunrise. Again, quite a popular little one. It is again a bit like the red champagne. It's got bright red pearls inside as the fruit. It's got like a red flesh on it. They call it a bark, and they grow fairly big, again about the size of my thumb when they're fully grown. They're usually growing well lit, so nice and sunny. Okay, so full sun. You don't have to hide this from the sun. This one can be grown in full sun, well watered. When it's fruiting, you've got to put obviously fertilizer in there. Best to do it once every 3 months, and that encourages flowering and it encourages fruiting. Now, as far as yield goes, let me get that information for you. It is known for a big yield. So, well, let me tell you, the average that I've got here is anywhere between 20 and 40 kilos for a fully grown tree. So grown in a pot, maybe 10 to 20 kilos per year, right? Flowering or fruiting is here in Thailand, it'll be anywhere between November, December, January, February, the cooler months. Okay, or if in your country, it might be around springtime. Very easy to grow. What you can see though, all these thorns. Be very careful with these finger limes. You will get lots of thorns on all of them. So that's a Byron, very easy. Well known for its high fruit yield if you look after it correctly. It actually gives better fruit yield than the red champagne, but they're a little bit more difficult to grow. Okay, so number 3 is emerald, or the emerald, green emerald. This is known for its green shell and its emerald colour fruit inside. Very nice. It is very, very sour. It's used a lot in with things like fish, garnishings, etc. Chefs do it like this particular one, not only for its taste but for the colour. When you're garnishing your dishes in your restaurants, etc. Now, this does grow quite tall, about 1.8 meters. It's fairly bushy when it's fully grown, but the yield is quite small. The yield is only anywhere between 5 and 10 kilos a year. This is also what makes this one so expensive in terms of buying the fruit. So in terms of growing conditions, this one likes partial shade. It doesn't like full sun because it's very delicate, as you can see, really delicate. So a partial shade protecting from the wind, and yeah, a popular one, but not many farmers grow it because the yield is quite low. So, but the yield is what makes it expensive. Alright, so that is emerald. Right then, number 4. This is the Papuana from Papua New Guinea. So this is quite a rare tree here in Thailand. We're glad to have this one on our farm. It is different. The leaves are bigger, more elongated leaves rather than small, tiny leaves. This one is, as I said, is quite rare, but very prolific. According to my research, but I don't know because we've not fully grown one yet. These can do up to about 50 kilos a year. That's a lot for a finger lime. So if that turns out to be true, then this will definitely be well worth planting in your farm. So very rare, beautiful little plant, grows to about 1.8 meters, pH around about 6 to 7.5, preferably about 6.5, but quite easy to grow, and we're looking forward to growing this one on the farm. And if it grows well, we'll do our own cuttings and we'll sell our own trees, because these are very difficult to get hold of, very difficult. Next one, Little Ruby. Little Ruby is what it says, really. It's little. The fruits are quite small. They've got a bright green bark. You call it bark, the skin. And I would say they're about half the size of my thumb when fully grown. They don't like frost, so if you live in a country where you get frost, you're going to probably have to either not grow it, certainly don't put it in the ground, and put it in the winter. You're going to have to put it in your greenhouse or inside your home. So planting in a basket in places where you get frost is a must. In terms of soil, again, fairly loamy, fairly easy soil, easy like that, right? PHP 6.5 to 7, not very prolific, again around about 10 to 15 kilos a year. The bush itself will grow to about 1.5 meters. but fairly popular. But like I said, great in tropical where we are in Thailand, but if you're living in Europe or parts of America that get frost, you've got to take it inside during the winter, otherwise it'll die. Very delicate little thing. You can see on the leaves are tiny, but it grows very bushy. So definitely one to watch, definitely worth growing, and just for the colour of the flesh itself. Right, okay, so number 6 is Colette. Now Colette is a very delicate little tree. I say little because it's more of a bush. You can see from this one, it's really delicate. The stem, everything, the leaves. So for this one, until it's got a bit of height on it, say 1 meter, and it's quite bushy, you want to be keeping this one in the shade, away from full sun. However, when it is grown, you can keep it in the sun. The yield on this one is quite low, anywhere between 5 and 10 kilos a year. You know which one it is. It's got bright green. It's got a bright green bark, but the inside is more of a lime colour, right? So a favourite with anyone who wants an aromatic smell on your cooking, etc. Also a favourite for making jam, but fingerlime jam, very expensive. So nice one. We don't know how this one's going to go because it is very delicate, so we'll see in a few months time, and we'll see how we're getting on with it. But seems fairly easy to grow, but just very delicate. Okay, so here we go. Next one, pink pearl. This one, actually I think this one is, besides a papuana, is probably aesthetically most pleasing to look at. It's really beautiful, this one. It grows to about 2 meters, so it's quite a high one. In terms of productivity, I would say anywhere between 10 and 20 kilo. Some say more, but it does depend on your climate and conditions. If I got 20 kilo off this tree, I'd be very happy, right? But if I get more, my wife will be rich. So what do they look like? Well, the clue's in the name, pink, so inside it's bright pink. It's also pink on the outside as well. So the whole thing is pink. A lot of bartenders like to use this one in cocktails because of its bright colour, and a lot of hotels like to use it for garnishing like cake or fish. So very popular, nice aromatic taste and smell, really nice, fairly easy to grow. Not much to say about this one other than it's absolutely beautiful when it's grown, and hopefully you'll see that on our farm. Right, next one is quite a tall one already, as you can see. This is called Sunshine Yellow. It does what it says on the tin. It's yellow, so the bark is yellow, the caviar beads inside, they're yellow. It's quite popular with home growers for cooking at home. It's also popular in restaurants. It's not a popular one for farming, mainly because the yield is quite low, but we've got it on our farm anyway, because what we want to do is mix them all, not just send you red champagne. I want to send you a bit of everything when you do buy. This one is not so sour, it's a little bit sweet, this one, and it grows over 2 meters. I mean, already this one is half a meter already, and it grows very, very bushy. So very nice. It does what it says on the tin. It's yellow on the outside, yellow on the inside. Tastes very nice, but people buy it more for the ornamental value. So that's that one. Right, okay, so Green Oatsonville. This is a town in Australia. It's named after a town in Australia. It's got very small leaves on it, as you can see, compared to the sunshine yellow. It grows in full sunlight, grows to about 1.8 meters. It doesn't like frost, so again, this is one that if you got full-on winter, you'll have to take inside. Yeah, in the winter, you can all grow it in a basket. In terms of flesh, it's a bright green bark with more like white, champagne-coloured caviar beads inside. Very popular, especially as it's named after a town in Australia. Very nice one to grow. We look forward to this one. Not so rare, but hopefully quite easy to grow. So that's that one. Right, last one. This is called Mia Rose. Mia Rose, what can I say about this one? It is absolutely stunning. It's got bright pink beads inside. It's a favourite with restaurants, with chefs and sort of serious home cookers. The taste is quite sour, so often used in sweet sour dishes. This one is more like a tree. You've got to prune this one, give it lots of air to let it grow. It'll grow to about 2.5 meters. This is probably the tallest one of all of them, if grown in the right conditions. In terms of yield, not much, probably about 10 kilos, 15 kilos if you're lucky, but one of the most popular in terms of aesthetics, looks, and yeah, always sought after, and we look forward to showing you when we've got some fruit. So that's it. That's finger limes. Now, as I said, there are over 40 different varieties. We've got 10 on our farm. Hopefully, if they come in here to Thailand, we'll get more. But I hope you found that little video useful. Got any questions? If you want me to do a video on an individual one, growing conditions, etc., let me know. Leave the comments, like, subscribe, and all that stuff. Ciao for now.